And that is what I will do today so you can know me a little better. Those of you who knew me in 1999 to 2004 have heard this before, but you're going to hear it again. I was born in Los Angeles, California on March 12, 1963, to John and Juanita Weber, and I was baptized at St. Joseph's Catholic Church on July 7, 1963, in Hawthorne, California. I was very interested in dinosaurs as a young boy, as many children are, and my first memory of a vocational desire was to become a paleontologist and study fossils. All this changed when my mother died of leukemia on May 12, 1970. My dad took us 4 children into our grandparents' bedroom and said to us, "God took your mother away last night to live with him, and we won't be seeing her anymore." We all filed sadly out of the room at this time, weeping as only children do. And I wondered, why did God take Mom? Why didn't he leave her here with us? The idea of an almighty God with power over life and death began to fill my mind and thoughts. After Mom's death, we moved in with our grandparents, and a couple of months later, we all moved from California to Kenneredo, Kansas, where they bought the local grocery store. Several years later, they bought some combines, and we became a family of custom harvesters. Dad took us to catechism classes at Our Lady of Perpetual Help Church in Goodland for several years, while our grandparents attended the Methodist Church in Kenneredo. After a while, Dad, who converted to Catholicism from Methodism just to make marrying Mom easier, said we could go to church with our grandparents because gas was getting too expensive to make so many frequent trips to Goodland. So from the time I was in 4th or 5th grade, I was attending the Methodist Church, even though I still thought of myself as a Catholic. I tried going back to the Catholic Church in junior high with 3 widows from Kenneredo who attended Saturday evening Mass, but they always left early to go shopping and then ate out after Mass. It was too long for a Saturday evening, and my resolve soon faltered. I started going back to the Methodist Church, and even became president of the United Methodist Youth Fellowship. It was during my high school years that I began wondering what I wanted to be. I knew I had one life to live, and I had to do the greatest thing possible for me. I believed God was the greatest, who had power over life and death, so to serve him would be the greatest thing I could do. I really wanted to be a Catholic priest because of my mother, but my years in the Methodist Church had fostered some anti-Catholic beliefs and feelings in myself, so I began to resign myself to being a Methodist minister. Then I saw an ad in the Register, the Catholic paper of the Salina Diocese. It said, "Interested in being a priest?" I filled it out and sent it in, not having much hope. Then a letter came from Father Norbert DeLobel, the vocation director at the time. He said he was coming to visit. I panicked, and I wrote him back telling him not to come. I mentioned how I had problems with several things in the Catholic Church, like going to confession to a priest or devotion to the Blessed Virgin Mary, among other things. He wrote back and said he was coming anyway, and he did. When people ask me if I've ever felt God moving in my life, I mention this visit of Father Norb DeLobel, which began my return to the Catholic Church. I felt so sensitive to Catholicism, I knew that if anyone was judgmental or shut the door in my face, I would probably turn my back on the Catholic Church forever. But that didn't happen. Everyone was so kind and welcoming. I was finally confirmed in the Catholic Church on April 20th, 1980, as a junior in high school, and was preparing to go to the seminary to fulfill my lifelong dream of being a priest. When I entered college seminary at the Pontifical College Josephinum in Columbus, Ohio, I was nervous and frightened. Apart from a summer in Israel in 1980 for the AFS program, it was the first time I was away from family for an extended period of time. During orientation, one of the priest formation directors said something that began to calm my fears. He said, "Many of you will have troubles and difficulties during your time in the seminary, and you will wonder if you should be here. My advice to you is to keep your eyes focused on Jesus Christ. He is the reason you are here. He will help you through any trouble. He will remove your fears." I smiled inwardly at that statement. I knew I was finally home. And now I am your parish priest once again. On this 14th Sunday in Ordinary Time, I want you to know that my most enjoyable and life-giving activity as a priest is to offer the holy sacrifice of the Mass. This living memorial of the passion, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ reminds me how much we are loved by Almighty God, sustains me in my daily life, and has sustained me in my priesthood these past 29 years. May the Mass sustain all of us in our daily lives.